I am the branch manager of the local Augusta office. We're located right in Hudson, next door to Jamaica Way. I see a couple of familiar faces that have been in there before. So I will discuss briefly about our background and where we come from, and then just get into the meat of everything. The Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America is a nonprofit private counseling and advocacy organization. We are not affiliated with any religion. We are the largest HUD-approved housing counseling agency in the country. We do between 20 to 30% of all the counseling. Our program actually does help do the training for HUD as well. Our mission is to provide economic justice through affordable home ownership and economic stability for low to moderate income people. We do have offices nationwide. We're not in every state yet, but we do service every state. As Stacey mentioned, I am licensed in 4 different states: Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, and Wisconsin. So we service everywhere. A lot of our counselors do hold multiple licenses as well. And then we do have some counselors that are simply housing counselors and get members through the buyer education process. All right, NACA has been in the forefront of fighting predatory lending for over 30 years. We have led that fight since 1988. Our CEO, Bruce Marks, a very feisty man, has been fighting this since the mortgage crisis in Boston. He was actually the first to coin the term predatory lending during that crisis. The focus was a 4.5-year war against Fleet Bank that NACA did win. Several more successful campaigns have followed since then. NACA is striving to change how lending gets done in America and trying to make the NACA standard the national standard. As a nonprofit organization, our mission is to work with members in obtaining an affordable mortgage and to advocate for economic justice for all. Our operations cover every aspect of the counseling and home buying process. A counselor works with a member one-on-one from initial application to be qualified for a mortgage and also improve their financial management in the process. So we do have our counseling and operations department, which I'm part of. We have our mortgage department. They consist of mortgage specialists who pretty much review files for compliance purposes once the counselor has qualified a member. We do have our own real estate department also called Red, and I'll talk about them a little bit more later on. We have our home and neighborhood department called HAND, and I'll also talk about them a little bit more. Member services, home safe, and our advocacy department. So we literally cover all aspects of the process. Our real estate department is called Red. We do have in-house agents. We do not require members participating in our program to use our in-house agents if they don't want to. In-house agents are well versed in the NACA program and policies because they know exactly how to look at what we're looking at as far as qualification requirements, how to use the NACA loan calculator, how to buy down the interest rate, how to factor in rehab and repairs into a loan. So we typically do refer members to in-house agents. However, we have many outside and referral agents that work with us and that are very knowledgeable of the program. Our real estate department provides training to outside agents that are wanting to work with the program. We also have an agent participation manual, which is pretty much the real estate agent's Bible when going through the NACA program. It literally outlines every step of the process, the language you need to have in the contracts, because NACA world is a little bit different. We are not a lender. We underwrite loans for Bank of America. Our lender is Bank of America. So certain stipulations have to be put into the contract. So it's very important for agents that are not familiar with the program to attend that training. I've had members that I've worked with where they have agents who says, I'm NACA certified, but right off the bat, they're uploading stuff in the wrong place. They don't know the terms. They don't know the time frame that needs to be in the contract and the language. So it's behooves you, if you do have people that potentially you want to refer, to go ahead and take that training so that you're knowledgeable once they're ready to purchase.
Real quick question.
That training
Yeah.
webinar is provided every Tuesday. You can go to NACA.com/live/webinars, I believe that's up here, yes, to attend that. And there are other webinars as well.
You said NACA.com/what?
I'm sorry, let me go back. Well, NACA.com/live.
Live?
Yes, it's up there.
/webinars/.
Oh, okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How often does this change? Like if you were certified years ago, should you redo the training every so often?
I would recommend redoing it every so often just because policies change and the market changes. But if you follow along with the manual that I mentioned, and you can download it directly on that website from the real estate website. You go to www.naca.com/red. And if you are a real estate department, if you scroll down the page a little bit, there is a link to download that agent participation manual. But I definitely just advise taking a refresher every so often, just so you're up to speed on any recent changes. The hand department, I wanted to highlight the hand department because as agents, if you're working with members, once they're under contract, the hand department steps in. The hand department provides assistance with identifying property issues and working with contractors on the renovation. The hand department was designed to support affordable homeownership through property assessment of pre-existing property types by identifying code, safety, health, structural, and mechanical system deficiencies using home inspections and other applicable evaluations to determine how the cost of repairs will impact the member's affordability. The hand department provides guidance and assists with helping the member and their counselor get a better understanding of how a selected property fits within the member's budget for both immediate repairs and maintenance expenses. Eligible members can seek to add a rehab escrow to their loan to allow them to purchase a home in need of repairs, such as structural defects, replacement of major mechanical systems, or upgrading plumbing or electrical needs that they may not be able to afford. Additional renovations or wish list improvements may also be added as an option to update an aged property or to add additional bedrooms or bathrooms to support the household size. There are two webinars that I would recommend anyone taking that wants to work with the program: the property qualification steps and the repair, escrow, and rehab guidelines. NACA does allow members to roll repairs into their loan if they have enough of an affordability amount, so it's important to know exactly what they look at and how to calculate that when you're working with the member. And these are all free webinars. There are no charges for any of these webinars.
If you have a property you're gonna list and you know it's gonna need repairs, can the hand department come out in advance and take a look and say, hey, this is NACA eligible, where an agent can list that on their listing? Or
They
property?
do not do that. They will typically advise the member to have an inspector to go out and look at the property. And of course, if it's not in a condition that they're able to purchase, they're not gonna let them move forward. They're not at risk of losing any money at that point. That is very light. There are 10 steps to home ownership through the NACA program. The member controls the timetable. I hear a lot of misconceptions about the NACA program, that it takes an extremely long time to go through. That is not true. I mean, it can be true for some, depending on their situation. I've had members that I've had an intake session with, and they were qualified a week later, and they closed on their home within 2 months of meeting with me. On the flip side of that, I've had members that I've been working with for 2 years or longer because they need to save funds, or they just haven't taken the time to upload their documents, or they went out and bought a new car or took a trip and now they have this extra debt that's hurting their affordability. So everyone's circumstances are going to be different through the NACA program. We literally will work with members for however long it takes for them to get through whatever they need to get through in order to purchase. So The first step is a home buyers workshop. It's about a 4-hour workshop. We do them face-to-face. This is also a free workshop. We now have a self-paced online workshop that people can take if they're not able to come out to a face-to-face workshop. During that workshop, we go through the ins and outs of the NACA program, how we look at affordability, what it takes to be qualified, and all of those requirements. And that meets 1/2 of their home buyer's education. Once they completed that workshop, they can then go ahead and go into the portal and schedule an appointment with a counselor to have an intake session. During this intake session, we complete home buyer's education. We look at their income, their debt, and their credit history to determine affordability and determine a timeline of qualification. Once they have been qualified, the next step is to attend a purchase workshop. The purchase workshop is completely different from the initial workshop. During the purchase workshop, we go over working with your real estate agent, community shopping, looking for your home, accessing grants and down payment assistance, and things of that nature. After that step, they have access to their approval letters. NACA does not do any pre-approvals. Once I have met with the member and determined that they're ready to be qualified, I have fully underwritten the file. It goes to that second department, the mortgage department, for compliance purposes, to make sure I dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. At that point, they are fully approved for 100% financing through our lender. Once they attend the purchase workshop, they have access to their approval letters, our documents in their portal. They can immediately go out with their agent, start putting offers on homes. Once an offer is accepted and a contract is uploaded, that's kind of when the HEN department steps in for the property condition to review the uploaded inspection report and make sure the property is in a good condition to move forward. Simultaneously to that, we're taking them through credit access, making sure documents are updated, getting the application completed with the bank. At that stage, the mortgage is processed, the member closes, and then they become a part of our post-purchase program. So those are the steps in a nutshell. The member completely controls the timetable. If the member is ready, they can be qualified and purchase in a very, very quick time frame in the NACA program. Our Home Safe Department provides post-purchase counseling and assistance for budgeting, payment arrangements, modifications, financial assistance, and other support as well.
Is that mandatory when you complete NACA to go through the post-closing process?
Well, we would hope that they continue to be a member because it is a membership organization, but it helps the members to continue that because if they face a hardship or they need help or anything like that, we are there to help them. We have right now a foreclosure rate of 0.000012. So it really behooves them to continue through that post-purchase process. So to be eligible for the NACA program, members must occupy the home for as long as they have the NACA mortgage. Owner-occupied housing is fundamental to NACA's mission of stabilizing communities. Members must reside in the home they have purchased through the NACA program for as long as they have a mortgage obtained through the NACA program. The power of the NACA program is in its owner occupancy requirement to ensure community stabilization and revitalization. NACA does enforce the owner occupancy and other requirements with a lien. We call it the NACA lien, or the neighborhood stabilization payment. That is a $25,000 lien. If a member decides to sell or refinance the home, the member will need to contact NACA, releases@naca.com, to obtain a release of the lien. $5,000 of that lien pretty much comes off for each year that the member lives in the home. If they have to sell within that first 5 years for whatever reason, again, they just need to take the right steps. Contact the release department, let them know the situation and request a release so that they don't force any or face any enforcement penalties. Does that make sense? All right. No member of the household can have an ownership interest in any other property. NACA's purchase program is based on owner-occupied housing and not for investors owning multiple properties. Homes cannot be rented out. While the NACA mortgage is not limited to first-time home buyers, no member in the NACA purchase process can own or hold an interest in any other property at the time of closing. This does exclude land, timeshares, property inherited without a mortgage, a mobile home title as a personal property rather than real estate, or properties in other countries without a mortgage. you can still own a home and be qualified. I have a member now who is a homeowner, she's been qualified, but before she uploads the contract, she just has to show that her current home is under contract with a pre-approved buyer. So there is no stipulation on owning a home and being qualified, you just cannot have an ownership in any interest in any other property at the time that you close on an NACA loan. That does not stop you from closing on your NACA home that you're going to occupy with your family, because we do require owner occupancy and then purchasing other properties as an investment. Your NACA home is required to be the home that you live in with your family. All members are required to participate. NACA is a membership organization again, and we honestly would not be as big as we are without all of our members. We have over 2 million members and 75,000 closed mortgages right now. We do a lot of protesting. Some of you guys might have seen this in the news. We've been to Atlanta protesting during COVID, and the rental assistance was released, and a lot of different things. So a lot of our members do come out with us when we have these different things going on in the community. So we do expect members coming in to help continue to move us forward. Honestly, I feel like it's an extremely small exchange for everything that you get, just to come out and volunteer in the community on a Saturday, come answer questions in a workshop, talk about your experience, to help give other people hope to come through the program. Because sometimes people just need a little bit of hope. So they are required to participate in 5 activities a year to support NACA's mission. All members must also be registered to vote if legally permissible in all elections, local and nationwide. Our CEO has just made this a strengthened eligibility requirement. Participating in the political process is crucial. As potential homeowners, member must meet this requirement as long as they're eligible to vote, since they will be living long-term in communities where public policy decisions impact them directly or indirectly. And lastly, adhere to the NACA agreement and NACA policies and procedures, which are not burdensome, but they are required. So again, as I stated before, NACA is a membership organization. The membership fee is $36 annually. It is prorated based on the time that a member joins. Credit report fees are $7.50 each. Access to NACA services does require becoming a member and paying an annual membership fee. We have 2 types of members in the NACA program, and I hear this a lot also, that NACA tells you where to live or they tell you what home you have to purchase. That is not true. We do not tell anyone what home they have to purchase or where they have to live. We have what we call priority members, who are our mission as a nonprofit. These are members who have a household income equal to or less than 100% of the median income. They are eligible to purchase anywhere in the MSA. Non-priority members are households who have an income that is greater than the MSA median family income. They can only purchase in a census tract where the household income is equal to or less than 100% of the area median. What we, if they purchase in an area that's 80% or below, we do call that a priority area. So I think that's where some of the misconception comes in. We don't have any income or asset limitations in the NACA program. So with that being said, our mission does stay with focusing on low to moderate income people. So that's why our priority members don't have any limitations on where they're able to make. Before there was not any restrictions, but the non-priority members, which are typically people who make at least $150,000 or more a year, were buying up all of the inventory from the people that actually needed it. If you're making $150,000 or more a year, you honestly, technically don't really need the NACA program. So we have to put a limitation somewhere, because the people who actually did need the program and did need help with finding affordable housing were left out on a limb because there was nothing left.
And when you're calculating income, are you looking for the applicant only or household?
Yeah.
When you're calculating the income, or you look at, it says household, never mind, I asked you my own question.
Well, we're only counting the income of the person that's actually going on the loan.
Okay.
If it's just a household member, we're not factoring that in as far as affordability. So the NACA program was designed to remove the roadblocks and barriers that make it difficult for low to moderate income people to access home ownership. So everyone who obtains a NACA mortgage gets these outstanding terms that you see here. loans for a wide range of eligible property types for owner occupancy. That would be single-family condos, co-ops, mixed use or multifamily properties as well. Multifamily can go up to 4 units. Properties may be existing, in need of renovation or new construction. There is no down payment with the NAPA program. Again, we offer 100% financing through our lender, Bank of America. No closing costs. The lender pays all the fees associated with the loan. The lender pays the closing costs. The lender pays for the closing attorney. The lender pays for the property appraisal. The lender reimburses the members for any credit report that they've had to pay for since starting the program. They also reimburse them for their pest inspection at closing. They don't cover the prepaid items though, but we all know prepaids are not typically included with down payment or closing costs. So members are responsible for their own earnest money deposit. They're responsible for their own home inspection fee. They have to have tax and insurance escrow or prepaid for 3 months each. So the typical prepays that you would see with a mortgage loan. And they do have to have minimum required funds for that, even without a down payment, and I will be discussing that in just a moment. Our members always get a below market fixed rate with an additional 1% reduction for low to moderate income members. When I checked the website last night at 2:30 in the morning when I was tweaking this position, it was 5.75%. It does fluctuate with the market though, so you can always see the most up-to-date rate right on the first landing page of the NAPA website, right at the top. The term is fixed fully, 30-year, 20-year, or 15-year. The 20-year mortgage is more geared towards Section 8 participants, which I will also be discussing today as well. Members can permanently reduce the interest rate with additional funds to buy down the rate. A lot of members do that through down payment assistance in different programs. Since there is no down payment with NAPA, those funds can only go towards either buying down the interest rate or reducing the principal, or you can do both. And there are no points or fees with the NAPA program either. The lender is not able to charge any points or fees for any NAPA transactions. So again, we offer 100% financing without consideration of a down payment or credit score.
Wow.
A person's personal payment history is evaluated without a minimum credit score or perfect credit history. We look at the credit to understand the pay history since we do character-based lending. We look to see how many late payments in the most recent 2 years, how many collections and things of that nature. We help members to address different things, point out what they may need to address that would help them not only through the NAPA program, but outside of NAPA as well. Funds can be set aside at closing for repairs. That's with the rehab escrow that I mentioned earlier. As long as a member has enough affordability, they are able to wrap repairs into that loan. There is no mortgage insurance with the NAPA program, and refinancing. Refinancing existing mortgages or properties without mortgage with additional funds for renovations to primarily address code, structural, and safety issues. This is the only instance where refinancing is allowed through the NAPA program. There's no cash out refinance through the NAPA program at this time. These are our loan limits as well. At the top, so for single family, we have $548,250. For 2 family, $702,000. 3 family, $848,500, and 4 family, $1,054,500. In the high cost areas, you'll see below. I need to move so fast. There's also a link here. You can check the loan limits for different areas on the NAPA website as well. Under home buyers, and then click on loan limits, open up the tool, and just search for the area that you're wanting to check on. So again, minimum required funds, like I just mentioned, there is no down payment, but members are required to have funds saved for prepaids or reserves. Members must have at least $2,500 liquid funds in the bank account at publication. Minimum required funds are going to vary for everyone in the NAPA program. I've never seen one person, no two people with the same amount. We ask at a minimum to see 2,500 liquid for qualification purposes, but the funds might be more for the member depending on their monthly payment, purchase price, and things of that nature. Again, they need the funds to pay for their earnest money, inspection fee, escrow property taxes, homeowners insurance, prepaid interest, or reserves. Payment shop. Payment shop is a way through the NACA program that a person with low affordability can increase their affordability. Let's say so let me back up a little bit so you guys understand that more. We determine affordability by using the current rent payment. We use the current rent as a baseline. We feel if someone can comfortably pay $1,200 in rent a month with no issues, no late payments, they can pay $1,200 for a mortgage the same way. So we start with the current rent as a baseline. What can increase or decrease that number will be the ratios. So the first one is going to be the housing ratio. That is 33% of a person's gross monthly income. That's the maximum that a person can be submitted for through the NACA purchase program. What could potentially lower that number is going to be the debt ratio. We use 41% of the gross monthly income. So let's say a person's current rent is $1,000, ratios and everything are good enough for them to want to go for $1,500 for a mortgage. So their payment shock is $500 a month. The way the payment shock works, we look to see that their overall accounts are at least growing by $500 or higher. That lets us know, yes, they're only paying $1,000 right now. They've shown this overall growth consistently for 3 months, so I know they can afford this $1,500. Does that make sense to you guys? All right. So payment shock, multifamily does require reserve. If you're purchasing a 2-family property, it is 4 months of reserves, 3-family 5 months, and 4-family 6 months. And then self-employed individuals also have to show 3 months of reserves. With down payment assistance, we do work with several different programs. I know Savannah Dreammaker down payment assistance work with us. We work with City of Augusta as well. They offer $10,000. I know they have $15,000, I believe, for city employees, and there are some local developers who offer up to $25,000 to help with members. So we do, for people who need assistance with affordability, look at ways to help increase it. We actually have a list of grants that gets updated every week or so that we provide to members, and for some of them, we actually do have to apply on their behalf as the loan officers. But we don't have an all-encompassing list, so we do advise members to research, to educate yourself, be knowledgeable of what's out there, because they may find something that we don't know about, so we can get that organization into our system and make sure it's available for them and other members to use as well.
I have a question real quick. You said that you don't use down payment assistance, but if you use the City of Augusta or Richmond County down payment assistance, is it just lowering that mortgage for them? Because you have your own lenders that do.
Right, so since there's no down payment, any down payment assistance or grant funds that people get, they can use to buy down their interest rate, which does help increase their affordability.
Okay.
Or they can use it to reduce the principal.
Okay.
Achieve the Dream events. These Achieve the Dream events are one-stop events for home buyers to quickly complete the NACA qualification process and access NACA's Best in America mortgage. At these multi-day events, home buyers complete the first 4 steps for NACA qualification all in one day. The free home ownership event attracts thousands of home buyers. Many home buyers are actually qualified the same day, while others receive an action plan with the next steps for qualification. NACA continues to host 1 to 2 of these Achieve the Dream events every month nationwide. We actually had one scheduled for Augusta last year. We were partnering with the Land Bank, but Hurricane Helene came and did her thing, and so here we are. We lost our location, so I'm looking for a location now so we can get another one scheduled. We actually have one this week in Dallas. They're traveling today, so I'll be working back office for that one over the weekend. We have one next month in Charlotte that I'll actually be traveling to. I did put some cards up here for you guys. If any of you want to come see the process, or if you have people that you might be working with that would like to go, I recommend it.
Well, I'll say whenever you get the one rescheduled for here, if you let us know, we can push it out too.
Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely. But yeah, it's great. I've actually seen several people go there and get qualified the same day, and it's a real amazing experience. Usually in tears because people are so happy. Some people come and they wait all day and then they get with the counselor and they're nervous because they think that everything on their credit report, and sometimes they're just embarrassed because, life happens. It happens to all of us. So it feels good to see them sit there, get out that nervousness, get past the embarrassment, and then they're really like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought. And I'm like, well, it's not. So let's get you qualified. And then they're with their clappers and they're cheering. So I definitely want to make sure we bring that to Augusta. It would be good for the local community because it will bring so many people here. That's money coming into the community. And it also provides all of the residents here at the CSRA a chance to be qualified for affordable home ownership as well.
Do you have to have a large event to host something like that in Augusta, or can it be like a smaller event?
We could do one on a smaller scale. We like a bigger location,
Okay.
simply because usually a lot of people show up and they travel from everywhere. When we have it in Conyers, we have people flying from California, from New York. They're like
Okay.
literally driving. I saw somebody that drove all the way from New Orleans and got back right on the road after I got them qualified to go home. So we prefer a bigger one, but we can definitely do one on a larger scale as well. On a small scale.
Okay.
These are some of the different programs that are available through NACA. We not only do the home buying counselor education and the purchase program, we have a city $1 home ownership program. We have NACA's new construction modular homes, our home safe program that I mentioned before. We have economic justice loans for minority borrowers, and then we have our HOT PHA program, our home ownership through public housing assistance. The $1 homeownership program is an unprecedented partnership between NACA and cities and towns across the nation to create affordable home ownership for low to moderate income home buyers in underserved communities. Community residents can purchase a vacant house or lot from the city for only $1. NACA will provide financing for any necessary repairs or renovations or for new construction through NACA's Best in America mortgage.
Wow.
This is not available everywhere. It's coming out slowly right now. It's very successful in Newark, New Jersey, and in Selma, Alabama. We're actually rebuilding an entire community in Selma, and if it works, I will show you a little bit about that today. NACA homes, the NACA new construction homes, these are primarily modular new constructions that are affordable and beautifully designed with high quality standards built in a controlled factory environment. You can actually see the different designs on the website. We do partner with Bantam Homes. Again, this is not available everywhere. This is also something I'm working on for the city of Augusta, especially in the wake of Hurricane Helene, with so many people having damaged homes. I'm still seeing like literal trees in the middle of trailers and stuff when you ride down the street. So this would be amazing if we could get it rolled out here. With the Home Safe program, again, America's largest and most effective organization in providing affordable solutions for homeowners with an existing unaffordable mortgage payment. This has been achieved through legally binding agreements with the major lender servicers and investors to provide affordable solutions. NACA has contracts with all the major servicers wherein they have agreed to a fixed rate permanent solution for homeowners when they are delegated to do so. And these would be for people facing hardship, and you don't have to be a NACA member. The Home Safe program is there for people who are also non-NACA members who have unaffordable mortgages or just might be facing a hardship at this time. With the economic justice loans, this is actually a relatively new program within the past 2 to 3 years, I'd say. It's a 3% interest rate. It is up to $15K and there are no fees. Up to a 36-month term, no prepayment penalty, and it does range from $2,000 to $15,000. The loan uses for small business, community impact, and special circumstances. To be approved, it does have to go through a peer lending loan committee of community residents. Funds will go to loans that have the greatest impact on underserved communities. This is also something that is now available on the NACA website as well with the economic justice loans and the application process. HOT PHA, which is something else that I think is amazing. The Homeownership through Public Housing Assistance Program is a transformative opportunity for public housing authorities, Section 8 housing choice voucher recipients who aspire to become homeowners. Through this innovative initiative, Homebuyers can combine their housing choice voucher with all the benefits of NACA's Best in America Mortgage, including a below market 30 or 20-year term mortgage to purchase a home. This is an ideal program for families to transition out of long-term public assistance into affordable home ownership and build significant generational wealth. The mortgage payment will be the approved payment standard. They will pay 30% of their gross income towards the mortgage in the same way they pay the landlord. NACA will give the buyer a 20-year mortgage, and the voucher benefit will last for 15 years, longer if elderly or disabled, it can go up to 30. If the final mortgage payment is less than the payment standard, the difference will go to principal reduction, removing months or years of payments. A buyer may become a homeowner in 15 years with hundreds of thousands in equity. We do also work with the Augusta Housing Authority. I have many members who are currently going through the program with housing choice vouchers that have been qualified and that have purchased as well. With the new construction, NACA homes are priced less than half of other properties with high quality standards. These modular homes are not manufactured homes. They are factory built and far exceed manufactured homes and HUD code requirements and can be produced on a large scale. The estimated purchase price ranges from $110,000 to $150,000 with a mortgage payment from $750 to $1,100, depending on property structure, current NACA below market rate, land cost, site preparation, location, and transportation. Designs are made to blend in with the existing community. The homes utilize innovative materials and building techniques such as modular, panelized, and other building types that are tornado and hurricane resistant, far exceeding HUD and applicable state code. This would also be a game changer for the community because that would bring more value as well because they do use local contractors when they're bringing in these materials. And the plant is actually in Georgia. I believe it's maybe 30 to 45 minutes outside of Albany, so it just makes sense right now. It has been successful in Newport, New Jersey, Lima, Ohio, and Selma, Alabama. As I mentioned before, we have a project going on right now in Selma where we're rebuilding an entire community of about 100 homes. They were hit really bad with the storm, and so they had a lot of dilapidated buildings and things in that area. So their city leadership got involved and wanted us to bring the program there. We had a model home that was used as our satellite office for a little bit, and they actually ended up wrapping that home off to a member who is also a Section 8 voucher holder of the community. I have a short video. You have sound.
Oh, boy, yes.
Hold on, let me try something quick.
Question on the, like building, putting the modular homes, for example, like here we have storm damage throughout downtown, and a lot of times those folks didn't have homeowners insurance. So does NACA cover any of the cost of removing that home to put a new home on their lot, or?
To like for the lots. I believe they do, yes ma'am.
While she's doing that, I have a question too. You may have covered, or may have missed it. Does NACA allow the home buyer to purchase multi-family units?
Yes ma'am. Up to 4 family.
Okay, thank you.
So no, we do not.
A little.
This video is also up on the national website, by the way, if that goes to, purchase resources and store now. You can click on it, and you will also be able to see the video. But again, we are located right on the Tobacco Road next to Jamaica Way. This is our contact information and my direct contact information as well. If you scan that barcode, it will connect you with our many different social media sites. We do have a special dedicated page strictly for realtors as well, where you guys get specialized attention, get all your questions answered. Do we have any other questions? Video, yes ma'am.
You have a standalone housing counseling program. If they're not gonna use that, you're certified, so.
Yes ma'am, we do provide, we have many people who come just for the counseling part, we do provide you with a certificate once you're done.
Okay, thank you.
So the 25,000 that's forgivable, 150 each year, whatever, funds, where's that? Is that like a guaranteed Bank of America?
Yes.
So, where, the reason I'm asking is we know a lot of funding is being cut for a lot of things. Is that something that's in danger, or you guys are just asking where is that?
As far as what everything is going on now?
Yeah.
No, we're not in any danger. I get that question a lot too.
How long is that certificate valid for when it go through the? About the HUD, I mean, I know you was speaking in reference to the voucher program.
Yes.
Is that in particular to Section 8 HUD, or who all applies for that? I mean,
That will be the Section 8 participants, but there's different types. There's the housing choice voucher, then they have the family self-sufficiency program, and then there's just the regular like tenant-based assistance.
okay.
So if it's the housing choice voucher, family self-sufficiency program, those are the ones that they can use it for purchase. The tenant-based assistance, we typically use it as a housing allowance to help increase their income.
Is that considered HAP? The HAP program?
Yes.
That's what I was asking. Okay, which program would it be? And as far as the amount that they need to have reserved, is that 2,500?
That's what we need to see the qualification, depending on their monthly payment and purchase price, it might be a little over that, it might be under that, it's gonna vary, but once we meet with the member, they know exactly what the minimum required fund amount is gonna be during that session.
And as a lender, I'll say this, we talked about payment shock, a lot of down payment programs have that, and that's something when you guys are talking to your clients, oh, my kids live with me or my daughter lives with me and I don't charge a rent, sometimes that's not good. You wanna see a history of, even if it's, and you don't do this, if they give mom $500, so mom gives it right back to them or puts it in a savings account. Start that, show that they can make those rent, because if they go from 0 to 1,200, the program's gonna go, can you really do, it's a big jump for me, and I make a house payment, so, you know, that's something that a lot of times, a lot of the college kids are staying at home longer, or, you know, you have families that break up and they go to live with mom and dad, and they come back. That's something they're trying to help them, and sometimes it hurts them when they come into these programs, so I see that. Probably, it's one of the higher things I see with like a reason to be like, okay, you gotta prove that you can do this, and your program's longer, which is good, but some of them, USDA and some other things where it's like, you wanna close real quick,
Yeah.
you gotta cure that payment shock issue, and that's advice ahead of time you can give to clients, so.
All right, does everyone have their information in case, I hope that's okay for me to say that, in case y'all have questions? Okay.
And I have two cards as well, for everybody.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for coming.
Yes.
I was going in and out, but that was the information that I was hearing, so I hope all of our people got the information as well. Thank you both.